Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today we are reviewing another NECA Ultimate Universal Monsters figure with the Invisible Man. This is the first Invisible Man they did, the Claude Rains Invisible Man. So it's the first Invisible Man movie from Universal, but this is also the first figure they made. This is him at the beginning of the film when he's like in the inn and trying to find a cure there. And then they eventually made another figure that was him in like the in the pajamas, which is one I was hoping for, and I'm glad we got it. I have to review that soon, and also get it. But now the Universal Monsters, one of my favorite franchises of all time. Like, it's up there with like Godzilla. That's how much I love the Universal Monsters. And this Ultimate Invisible Man is actually really, really cool. He has a lot of different heads and stuff, and many different display options. I've been sitting on this figure for a while, actually. These days I really only open them when it's review time, so he's pretty cool. This is a really nice box for in-package collectors. I'm not an in-package collector. There are very few figures I've kept in package, but God, he's just really nice looking in box, and I hope he's just as good looking out of box, so let's get him out of package. And here he is out of package, Claude Rains as H.G. Wells and Carl Laemmle's, or Carl Laemmle Jr.'s, Invisible Man. Awesome. This is actually a pretty incredible figure, and there's so much going on with him. But first I want to say thank you to all those who support this new setup. It's not finalized. I definitely need different lights and maybe something to absorb some sound. If you like this setup, let me know. It is going to get better, I do promise that. But if you want to go back to the old black mat on the floor, let me know that too. Anyway, into the Invisible Man. He's really cool. He has a lot of good articulation. You know, you got side to side on that head of his. Up and down, which goes a little further than it looks like it would. A nice little wobble. You know, I like a good wobble. Up and down on the arms. I wish they came up a little further, but it's alright. Up and down, rotation, elbow bend, and there's an elbow swivel, which you can get the most out of when it's straight. And you've got forward and back on the wrists, as well as a rotation on said wrists, and there's a good bit of articulation on the torso and waist and stuff, but it is covered by this rubber jacket, so you don't really see it, but you do see it in action. Pretty cool. He has a rubber bussy covering, like McFarlane figures do, so he is able to actually kick back some, unlike, say, Hasbro figures. He can kick forward. God, that's a noisy joint, isn't it? Ooh. In and out, pretty nice. You have a single knee bend, rotation, and up and down on them little feeties a little, with a decent ankle pivot. The cuffs of his pants do kind of hinder a little bit. But yeah, that is it. I think he has pretty good articulation. I mean, it's the Invisible Man. He doesn't need to be in the most dynamic poses of all time, but I think it's good articulation for what you would need from this character. You know what I mean? God, I love him. Anyway, he has great detail in paint. The jacket has a lot of color in it, and a lot of color variety. It looks leathery and worn. Really, really good. I love the brown hair of the wig sticking out from underneath his wraps. I love, the goggles, the prosthetic nose. Everything looks really, really good. These hands are really cool because they're not just mirror images of the same sculpt. You can see he's actually holding his fists in different positions. It's very subtle detail, but it is a very noticeable one by me. And speaking of noticeable details, let's get into accessories. You can see you have this kind of fully covered head and the two fist hands. There's a rather comedic part in the film, actually many comedic parts, because one of the greatest directors of all time, James Whale, directed this film where he takes off his prosthetic nose and throws it to the officers. And as you can see, it's a pretty easy piece to lose. It's something the character could hold. But NECA kind of anticipated that and included 2 extra ones. There's no point in the film where he has 3 prosthetic noses at the same time. This is literally just in case you lose the nose. So that's actually very thoughtful of you, NECA. Thank you very much for that. There's also his wig. So if you pull his wig completely off, you can have it like folded up. It's like a soft rubber. Pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty ace. And he also has two kind of half unwrapped heads. You see, here's one where he's unwrapped the mouth, but still has the nose on. And here's one where his mouth is still mostly wrapped, but has the nose off. Wig still underneath. Very cool. And see, it's like hollow inside. So it looks like there's nothing in there because he's invisible. Okay, let me get rid of those before I do something incredibly weird. He also comes with this book with all his formulas and everything within it. It's very cool. Like, a lot of the time when you have books like this with a figure, they'll have something written on this side and then it'll kind of look blank on the inside, but that's a lot of really cool text. This could go great with a lot of different figures, to be honest. Really cool. I love this accessory a lot. A lot. And then he has many hands. You saw his fist hands, but he also has a few others, like this kind of pointing hand. That finger is a little warped on there. I can fix it though. And then these other kind of holding hands, really they just kind of hold different things. And there are many things to hold, you know, the wig, etc., the book, and a couple other things as well. He comes with a little formula that he's mixing in an attempt to make a cure. Pretty cool. I actually think that's really cool. That could also be a great accessory for a lot of different figures. And then he comes with his overgloves. I don't super think I'm going to display him with the overgloves. They're cool, but this one's a holding hand. And there's not terribly much he can hold in this hand. Yeah, there's not really something that tight. I guess he could hold these goggles in it. If you slip them in between the thumb, he could kind of hold his goggles, or maybe the nose since it's a tighter grip. But there's not as much he can hold with this hand. But he does also come with these goggles, which is pretty fun. And these goggles can, like, let me flip them over so they're correct. They can go on the alternate heads. Ta-da! Pretty cool. So he can wear the goggles with those. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the review process, the size comparisons. And I have a huge pile of figures to show with him. Lots of them are Universal monsters and other horror icons, but we have a lot of just different kinds of monsters and things as well. First up, how about another Invisible Man? This one from Jada Toys. I do love this Jada Toys Invisible Man, actually. I love his like rubbery cloak and everything. But, as you can see, the Jada Toys Universal monsters are simply not going to scale well with the NECAs, unfortunately. But, how about a Marvel figure? I just had this one laying around. The Marvel Legends Red Hulk from Captain America Brave New World. I mean, I think that could work, don't you? Pretty cool. Oh, they're looking for a cure together. But also, they're both violent, crazed individuals. Neat. So now let's move this Invisible Man to the side. And let's show him with one of the older Universal Monsters lines that's not really around anymore. The Diamond Select Universal Monsters line with the Diamond Select Phantom of the Opera. Now, this is odd because I actually kind of thought these guys would scale really well together. But I guess Claude Rains was kind of a shorter guy. And it's not like I ever saw Lon Chaney Sr. next to any of these guys. So you could say it works. Like, he's not so much taller than... I mean, that's a height difference that could exist. I didn't expect this discrepancy, but it's not a bad one, you know? Next up, we of course have many more monsters for you to feast your eyes upon. How about another NECA, huh? Here is the NECA Predator 2 Guardian Predator. This is not the Ultimate Guardian Predator, it's the older one. Pretty cool. I actually really like this scaling because the Yahoo something are really big. They're big, tall guys. So I actually think this is kind of perfect. Yeah, really good. Let's move the Phantom out of the way. And we'll show another Ultimate, but this one is a bit more of a slasher. Well, in his third film, he started to go into slasher territory. The first two aren't slasher films, obviously. It is the Ultimate Pinhead from Hellraiser. That's pretty good. I like that. A little taller is a little more intimidating. That's great. I love it. I don't know how well the Invisible Man would fare against either of these guys, though. Now, let's show somebody else. How about we finally throw in an SH figure art? I don't think I've ever compared an SH figure arts to one of these NECA Universal monsters. And this one is a monster. He's a kaijin turned rider. It is the SH Figure Arts Tomasha Nation Bandai Japan Kamen Rider Black Sun, who is, of course, way too short. I did expect this, but I thought it would make a good size comparison nonetheless. Now, let's get back into NECA and finally show him with his own line. So first up, here he is with a monster that really deserves a bit more attention, in my humble opinion. The creature from the Black Lagoon. Dear Lord, he's tall. The Gill Man is a big old boy. But remember, once again, Claude Rains, I do believe, was a shorter guy, if I remember everything correctly. I just remember him being really short, standing next to Lon Chaney Jr. in The Wolfman. So yeah, he is a shorter guy, and you would expect the Gill Man to be a taller, monstery dude. So that's good. So how about we show him with someone a bit more human-sized? And with that, we are going to go with the NECA Ultimate Universal Monsters Black and White Carfax Abbey Dracula, played by my favorite actor of all time, Bela Lugosi. Okay. I guess he can't stand the light. I hate myself. Anyway, I think this is a great scaling, actually. He is a little taller than Claude Rains here. And the hat. Let's pop that hat off. Oh, this hat doesn't come off. I could have swore it. Oh, yeah, it was just really on there. Okay. Anyway, there he is without the hat. You see, he's not that much taller than Rains. That's pretty good. Yes, I do think that is pretty good. Dang, that hat was on there. Woof. Very cool. So yeah, that's him with these other Universal monsters. One in color, one in black and white. Obviously, he's in color. Okay. Moving on to the next figure. How about another NECA? This one from a horror video game. Well, an action horror video game. It is the NECA Toys Dead Space 2 Isaac Clarke. More of a monster hunter than a monster this time. That's amazing. They're like almost right at eye level. Isaac Clarke is only slightly taller than him. Maybe not even. Maybe the helmet's just causing that illusion. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So now let's get Dankula out of the way. Just put your little hat back on. And we are going to see what we can do with N.E.C.A, huh? How about the beautiful, the illustrious N.E.C.A? Nosferatu from, I believe, Silent Screamers? Yeah, this was their first Nosferatu release with the return of their horror stuff in the Silent Screamers, which they kind of sort of abandoned. Actually. Was there his foot broken? No. Okay, we're okay. Yeah, he's also kind of a short little guy, so I think that works out. I always imagine Orlok is kind of tall. I've seen the most recent Nosferatu and of course the original multiple times. And I did recently acquire the Blu-ray for the one in the middle, the Herzog one or whatever. Haven't seen it yet, but it's on my TV stand. It's soon. But yeah, I think he looks pretty good with this Mezco, actually. Better than a lot of NECAs do, in all honesty. Speaking of NECAs, there are still a couple more NECAs I want to show. I know I'm kind of just grabbing them from random over from the side here. Here, I want to show him with a couple more of the kind of Fox sci-fi monsters, like you saw him with Predator. So here he is with an engineer from Prometheus in his suit, aka Space Jockey. And you know, the engineers are big boys. So this does make sense and works, and I really love this engineer figure, by the way. Yoink. And I believe I've reviewed every one that I'm showing you things of. If there's one I haven't reviewed, let me know. Anyhow, I do want to show one more NECA, and then the last two will not be NECA. So this one is also from a video game, but also the kind of Fox Xenoverse, whatever you want to call it. AVP universe. It is the AVP Chrysalis Xenomorph, Chrysalis alien, who's also really big, but Xenomorphs are really tall when they stand straight up. So yeah, that all works for moi. Now, how about a slasher that's a bit more monstrous than most? This one is from the old McFarlane Movie Maniacs line. The Movie Maniacs now are just like statues from all genres, but they used to be action figures that were all horror. So here is the beautiful, illustrious Movie Maniacs Pumpkinhead, who doesn't want to stand. He's been in storage too long, haven't you? Haven't you, Pumpkinhead? Yeah, pretty good. Pumpkinhead is a big, tall guy who doesn't want to stand. Come on, man, what happened? Your leg got warped. Sad. I'll figure it out. I can use the hot water trick or something. But yeah, that's pretty good. And last but not least, the desk that I film at has a couple figures that just kind of live on it. And this is one of those figures, and it is a monster, so I thought I'd show it, though it's not really the same kind of monster. In fact, it's a Daikaiju. So here is the Ultra Monster Series DX Thunder Killer. So just in case you display all your monsters together. Kaijin, or Kaiju. Yeah, obviously the scaling doesn't work. Like, it's not going to be accurate, of course. But if Thunder Killer was Kaijin sized, maybe. Who knows? So all in all, what are my final thoughts on the NECA Ultimate Universal Monsters Invisible Man? I really think it's great. I think it does James Whale, Claude Rains, Carl Laemmle Jr., and really just everybody who worked on the film justice. Yeah, some of the articulation could move further, but I mean, it's not like he's the Wolfman. You know, it's not like he's ripping people apart. And when he's at his most flexible, he's also at his most invisible. He is pretty damn cool. I mean, the detail and paint are on point. He comes with an enormous amount of accessories. He doesn't seem fragile. NECA used to have a huge fragility problem, and there's still some quality control issues here and there, but they've really come a long way. I am a huge, huge NECA fan. I love these figures, and I cannot wait to review more Universal Monsters and get more for my collection. And they have also branched out this line to have things that aren't Universal in them, like Hammer stuff, which I knew was coming because they required the license forever ago. But that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll be seeing you all next time. Bye for now.